that portion will cover first in the plane, axis and coordinate and point, and then we'll starting with some 3D tools. Okay, so that we're going to do. So first I'm going to start with the planes. Plane is very important part of 3D. Okay, so whenever we're making a plane, like whenever we making a component, we need to create extra plane sometime. Okay, by default we have front plane, top plane, right plane only there. But some places there are like no references are able to make a 2D sketch or a 3D. So in that cases we have to create extra planes. So let's understand. So let me show initially these planes. We can select all this plane and right click and say show. So we can see all 3 planes will be visible here. Now you want to make a plane from the existing plane, you can go to reference geometry, take a plane option. Now you have 3 references method, first, second and third. So minimum I can take 1 reference and maximum I can take 3 reference to define a plane. So first let's go with 1 reference. You can specify first reference and you can specify the distance between them, how much distance you want to take, the plane will be created that. So here we have taken 80 distance. Now you don't want to make this plane this direction, you want that plane will be go in opposite side. In that cases we can click on the flip offset. The plane will be shifted in other direction. Now here, if you need more than one plane, okay, if you need more than one plane at 80 distance, you just increase the number here. So together we can make a multiple planes. Do okay. See here. You can make a plane from any faces of the body as well. Like right now we have taken from existing plane. Like if I create a part, let's create some object. Exit, and I'm going to extrude this. And do okay. Now I want to create a plane from this. So what we'll do, we'll take a plane. Then we'll select a plane face. Like we can select any face from there. We can make, like I want to make a plane from that face. We can specify the distance value and do okay. Okay. So again, you can take a plane. You can select any other face, specify the distance value and do okay. So that's the way that you can make a plane at distance. Now we'll see if I want to make a plane at an angle. Okay, how we can make a plane at an angle. So I'll just delete this existing planes. So we can hide this planes for a while. Now we'll take plane here. So for angle plane, you need one planar reference and one edge, axis or line. Okay. So planar reference, this face I can select, and then we can select this edge for my axis. So it will be coinciding over the axis and it's perpendicular to that face. By default, it is coming at 90 degree. If you need this condition, you can do okay. But I want to make at some angle. We'll just click here at an angle and we'll specify the angle value to be, like for example, 45 degrees and do okay. Like this is a simple object. Like you can also make a plane with the axis. If you have some axis, let's create some part such a way that we have some axis also there and we want to make plane. So I'll mix some cylindrical object, for example. So sometime if we have a cylindrical case, in that case, if I want to make plane and angle, so what I'll do, so I'll just make one part here and do okay. Now it's a cylindrical portion, right? Now for the cylindrical portion, basically there's a temporary axis is available. You no need to create anything extra. You go the symbol and just turn on the temporary axis. Now you go to reference geometry, take a plane option. As we said, we need one planar reference and we need one axis or edge. So here we'll select this axis. Now planar reference, we can select the existing plane. We have front and top and other planes are there now. So we can take any plane from that. We want to make an angle. Let's take a top plane. And here, again, you go to add angle option and you can specify the degree of angle that you want to make. For example, 45 degrees, or you want to change the direction, you can flip the direction and do okay. So this is the way you can make a plane at an angle by using a circular body as well. Now next, we'll see how to make a plane So we'll see how to make a plane normal to any curve. For example, if I have any curve and I want to make a perpendicular plane to the curve. So I'll just draw a curve. Exit. Okay. So if I need a perpendicular plane on this, so we'll go to reference geometry and we'll take a plane option. We have to select the curve and we have to select a point. You'll find that the plane will be created perpendicular to that. Do OK. Again, like anywhere you want to make, you can repeat the option. You go to the option, take plane, select curve and select a point. So as many planes you can make like this. We can also make plane through curve also. One option is called through curve. Like there's a curve only, you want exactly plane over that curve. You take a plane and select a curve directly. Nothing to do, only select a curve. This one plane will be developed over the curve like that. You can take a through curve plane also. Next, we'll see how we can make a plane that is tangent. So I'll delete all the things from here. So I need to create something that is tangent. So I'll just produce some part here where we can show you tangency plane. So I'll just create a rectangle and extrude. Let me add some depth to this. Okay. We'll select this face and sketch on it. And we'll just make some sketch, like I'll make one circle here, one circle here. I'm going to extrude them. So I'll make a cylindrical objects. So let's increase some height here and do OK. Now I want to make a plane that should be tangent with this faces. Let me turn on or turn off the axis. And we'll take a plane option. We'll select one cylinder face. And second, you see it is tangent with the one cylinder face. You can select second cylinder face and you can see that will be tangent to that faces. You have option to flip the side also. You want to be with cross tangent, you can make cross tangent like this, or you can flip completely other side. So that way also we can make a tangency plane. Now we can use this plane to draw our object. Next. So this is a tangent plane. You can also make the plane passing through two axes. That is called through plane again. Let's turn on the axis. And we'll go to plane and I want to make plane that is passing through center of this holes, like I select this shafts, not holes. We want to make plane that is passing through the center of this axis to axis. So we'll select this axis and this axis and do OK. So that's called through plane. So coinciding with the axis, both the axis, this way you can make a plane. Next, we can make a plane that is passing through any three different points. Okay, so that's called the plane by using three references. So let's make a simple extrude of a part. So either you create a point or you can use a vertex edges of any part body. So I'm going to use the three vertex of this part body. We'll take plane. We'll take one point here. Like I'm taking one point here and one point here. You'll find that the plane is created passing through three different points. So like that way also you can create a plane that is passing through three different points. Next. So I'll just make one part here. Let's see. So here's some curve I'm taking here and straight. So we'll close this and we'll extrude this. We'll keep it mid plane and let's specify some depth and do OK. I'm going to create one point for my reference. So I'm using this face to draw one point over that face. I'll placing some point anywhere randomly and exit. So now I'm going to make a plane that is coinciding with this point and tangent to that face of the circular body. Okay. So we'll go to the option plane. We'll select this point and we'll select this face. You will find that it will be creating coincide and tangent to that face. But what I want my plane will be get projected over that face. If I need this condition, I can do OK, but I need the condition that my plane will be projected. So here I have one option is called projected. I click on the projected option. It will be get projected like this. You can get this if you want to do this condition, you can do okay. But I want something more. I want this become exactly perpendicular to this curve that I have. So you have one more option is called along sketch normal. When you do this, it give you error actually. It will not making it. Red color means it's not making it. So here what you do, you can do for making it, you have to flip the side. You just click flip side. So you can see that now it is perpendicular to that particular face. Like this way also, we can create a plane that is perpendicular to some face. Okay. So you can also make a bisector plane between two faces, like as we select two straight faces to make middle plane. If we have two plane adjacent faces we select, it'll make a diagonal plane. You can select face one, press Control face two, and you can see it'll be producing a diagonal plane to that two faces like this way. This is called mid plane only. Okay, so this is how we can make a variety of planes. So that is about the plane concepts. Now we'll see how to make a coordinate system.
Sir, what is the difference between 2D sketching and 3D sketching?
That will come to that part.
Okay.
So now we'll see coordinate system, how to make a coordinate system. So go to coordinate system. So you have to define one point where you have to create this coordinate system. You just tell a point. Then you can define your X, Y, and Z direction, and you can create a coordinate system. Like I said, this is my X direction, for example. And let's keep this to be a Y direction, and that to be my Z direction. So like this, I specified all the directions and do okay. My coordinate will be ready at that places. So where we can use this when we making a pattern table. So in that cases, we can use this coordinate system. Next, we have axis is given. Okay, let me hide initial that temporary axis. Now we'll see how we can use axis. Okay, so we'll have axis tool. You can create axis from one line, one edge or axis. You can select any edge also. You can get an axis at that place. You see the axis will be generated, or you can create axis between two planes. You can select the two faces, or you can select the planes. So I'll go to axis option and we'll set the option to two planes. I said this face and this face. You see one axis will be added. Or let me take a new file to explain you this. I'll take a new file and do okay. So you see we have initially three planes. We'll just turn on them, and now we'll take axis tool. We can select plane 1 and plane 2. You can see one axis is generated between them. Like that, you can select any planes. You can make axis between them. So where is axis useful? That just now we have seen for making planes, that is useful. And if you're assembling your part in future, and that case also, the axis is very useful. Okay. So now we'll see next.
Axis,
Let's go to
that is in the mid center.
Yeah, it will be made exactly at center of the planes.
Okay.
When you select two planes, it'll be always make exactly at the intersection portion of that. So let's go to previous one.
Center line. It's like center line.
It's you can say like a center line for 3D objects. Okay.
Okay.
So not for 2D, for 3D objects. So when we make 3D object, it is very useful in that cases. For 2D objects, we are not using this axis. We are using center line. But 3D, when we assembling the things, when we doing patterning the things, in that cases, we require this axis. Now, you can also make axis by defining 2 points. Okay, the points through points. Let's go and make axis through points. We'll go to axis. We'll define point 1 and point 2, and we can generate an axis. Okay, it's not selected point. Let me reselect. So point 1 here and point 2 here. Like this, you can make an axis by selecting 2 different points. Next, you can also make axis from cylindrical faces or conical faces if you have. So I have this faces there. I want to make axis of this. So I'll go to axis and I'll use cylindrical face and select this. And you can see it will be show you the axis at the center of that part and do okay. Next, if you have any points and you want to make axis from that, let's create some point. Let's do one thing. I'll just create one axis at some distance. I want to make one plane at some distance. I'm going to create some point over that. So we want to make axis at that position now. So we need one planar reference and one point to make a axis there. So I'll see. So we'll see now. We'll go to axis. We'll take point and face. We need one point. You can select this plane also, or you can select this face also. I'll select this plane. Axis will be generated perpendicular to that plane that I have selected. Do okay. So this way also you can generate an axis. So these are the type of axis you can create in your part body. Now let's come to about 2D sketching and 3D sketching. What are the differences? Okay. So normally whatever the sketch till now we have made it. Okay. That is what my 2D sketching only. So far we have do the work in previous sessions. That will be a 2D sketching. Now 3D sketching is what we don't require any plane. We can directly draw without plane by pressing tab key. Like I'll take any, I don't need to take a plane actually. So we'll go to sketch and we'll go here 3D sketch option. So what you want to draw, you can just take a tools from here and then you can draw. You see it is going in XY direction. Maybe you want to change the direction, you press tab key. Okay. Again, you want to change the direction, you can press a tab key. Okay. So you can change the direction. Maybe you want to go different directions. Maybe you want to go this direction now. Okay. Again, you want to change the direction, you can change by pressing. So where you feel you want to press change the direction, you can press tab button and you can switch the direction and you can make the object in that particular direction. Again, I press tab key and I'll just go this particular direction. So like this, I can make a 3D curve that is not normally possible with the 2D sketching. Okay. So that way you can do some designing. See here, the curve that I made it, you can see it is not a 2D curve, it is a 3D curve. Okay. So the relations that we use in 2D, the same way we can use relation here. I won't make that to be equal to each other, parallel to each other. Like that, I can place a relations. So I can, what I said, I want to make that should be equal and parallel. This to be equal and parallel. Let's make something. I'll add equal and parallel. That to be equal and parallel. So let's add some fillets. Let's add something over that part. So I'll just select all the corners. So we have to say yes. How many fillets are there? According to that, we have to say yes. One corner remain. I'll select that manually. And you can set some radius value over that part. Maybe 20 we can take. Let's do okay. Suppose this I want to convert into a structure something. I can exit from the command and we can use some tools like a sweep tool. We can use it to add a material on this part. So I'll go to features and we'll use sweep tool. With that, we can add a cross section over the sketch. So I'll use circular profile and I'll select this part and we can specify the diameter value, radius value, how much we need, and we can do this directly. So if I have to make this kind of things in 2D, that is not possible. With the 3D sketching, I can do this thing directly. You can see the results outcome. So that is the difference. You have seen the 2D sketching, we have to make a flat plane and then we will add a material on that part. But in the case of 3D sketching, you can draw in any planes directly and then you can add a material over the part. Yeah, that is about 2D and 3D sketching. Understood?
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. So now let's go to 3D commands. Let's start with the extrude command. Okay. So extrude command is what basically we can make a sketch and we can add a material perpendicular to that sketch. Okay. So let's take a new file and do okay. So we'll just start with extrude. Let's create some sketch. Let's understand that. So we'll make some simple sketch initially to understand. Okay. So if you want to put a dimensions, you can add a dimensions. Okay, so that will be equal, fine. So let's put some dimension here. And I'll put one dimension here. Making this line equal to that, so it'll be perfectly defined. Okay, so I'm deleting this relation because that is repeating. Okay, now let's so now what is remaining? You see here, if we move this, it is moving from its position, means I have to define this where it is located. I have to put one more dimension. So I'll put one dimension here, so that will become defined. Let's take that 11.45. Okay. So like this, I put a dimension. Now we can exit it. So once we made a 2D, we have to exit from the 2D. Now we go to extrude command. So in the extrude command, I can define a material by default blind direction. Blind mean I can add a material in one direction. So what are the depth you want to add? You can pull the arrow also, or you can type the value. Maybe I want to only add a 30 depth material. So what happening here, if you see carefully, from this sketch that I made it is adding only material in this direction. But if you want to add the second direction material, maybe different depth you want to add. This is 30 we added, maybe 20 depth we want to add this side. In that cases, you can go for direction 2 and you can specify the value. For example, 20. And you can see we have two different depth. One is 20 and one is 30. If you need this, you can do OK. Or I don't want this, so I'll untick the direction 2 and we can go here mid plane. So mid plane means like whatever that depth we are adding here, that will be equal both sides. Means so it'll be 15 this side and it'll be 15 this side. So 30 I put it now. So it'll be divide half of that actually. So that way also you can make a part. Next.
Okay.
Next we'll learn how to make more things in that. So I'll just create some planes. So I'll just make multiple planes and do OK. Let's make each plane different part. So I'll extrude this. So I'll extrude this also. Now I want to make something that to be extruded over that part. So I'll just make something here and exit. So I'm going to use this sketch and go to extrude command. So let's make it blind. So I'll just define this direction. So if you want to add a material by blind, you can define the depth and you can add a material. Or you can go here through all. Through all means whatever that object is there till last, it will be go to that last body and go till last of the face. Do OK and you will get this result. So that will be combined as a one body. So that will be one body. Now let's go again, change the option. So I don't need to take it through all, I say up to next. So software will only go to the next object. So here you see we have three different bodies because this will become one body and this will be remain two different bodies. Again, we can edit it and we can go here and we say up to vertex. So you can tell the software like I want to go to this some vertex. Maybe I want to go to that vertex only. You can tell why vertex, the distance of the face where you want to extrude it. So you can do OK and check. Next, I want to go by face or surface. You can say here by surface. Maybe you want to reach to this surface or maybe this surface. Or this plane gets selected. We can also select the planes instead of surfaces. Okay. So we'll select this face. Okay, maybe I want to go till this face. So this way you can select the faces and you can also define the extrude. Next option is offset from the face. Maybe you want to maintain some distance from that face. You can type the distance value. I want to maintain 5 distance. You can see it will be stopping at 5 distance. Okay, you have one option is reverse offset. If you do reverse offset, it'll be go 5 inside that face. So it depends on you. You want to keep stop that 5 distance before that, or you want to take inside 5 that distance in that part. So then up to body. So we up to body is what basically up to body means like these all are body. Like if I take normally blind, you see these are our body as I told you, right? We have a 3 bodies here, 1, 2, and 3. If I want to go to body 1, body 2, I can select the bodies here. So we have to go to body method and we select a body. So if I go to this body, it will be go only till that body. If I say this body, okay, so it will be go to that body. So that is a depth defining method, how we're defining the depth of the model, where it to go exactly. So this way also you can specify and you can do okay. So now here what happened, it is merged with that part. This become a 2 body. You see here, this is 1 body and this is 2 body. Because it's not passing through it, it only stop that face. So it's not joined it. But if I change the option such a way, or any option I take, that it will be passed in that through all or any other options. So we have a merge option is there. It will be combined as a 1 part body. Okay, so you have to just check that option still, unmerge it and take it again and do okay. And you will see it will be get into 1 body. But if you don't want to merge anything, in that cases you edit the feature and you say don't merge it. When I say don't merge it, what the software do actually, it do not make any edges. You see it not combined with the part. It just plays like a body. See 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies are there. So where no need to merge it, you have to work with the multi-body bodies. In that case, you use this method. If you don't want to make a multi-body concept, you just use only the merge method and you just do okay. So in that case, it will be turned into 1 single part body. Now let's see next thing. So this I have understand that how can I extrude directly, right? There's one more way of extruding the part. You select the part and go to extrude. Suppose I don't want to extrude from here. Sketch is here, but I don't want to extrude it from here. You have option from method. In the from method, you can define, by default is on sketch plane. You can also tell your face from where you want to start the extruding. I said surface or face. So I say from this face, I want to start my extruding. Okay, it's define the direction side. And the second direction, what do you want? Let me take up to next. So it will be only go to the next part. Next option, we can take like vertex. Maybe I want to select from this vertex I want to start. So it will be start from that vertex. And then what should be the next outcome you want to take? I say through all, it will be go through all. Then you can take offset. Offset is what, like from that sketch from where it's starting actually. From that side, how much offset distance you want to take, that you can specify. I said 5 distance. You can flip the direction and you can see it will be leave the 5 distance. So sometime we made a mistake while making a part. In that cases, we can manage by this option this way. Let's do okay. So this way also you can do extrude. Now next, let's see what more we can do in the extrude. So if you want to make any part which will be hollow with the wall thickness, you can use a thin feature command and you can specify the thickness of the wall. Like for example, 2 mm I want to make. So here my thickness right now, it is added outward direction. You want to change the direction of thickness, you can make inward also. Now, if you want to add 2 different thickness also, you have option here. You can go to 2 direction. You can define outer direction is different and inner direction is thickness different. So inner is 1 and outer is 2. Or you say I want to take equal thickness. You can take a mid-plane option and you can specify the thickness value. It will be equal. Now next, I want to close the boundary with cappings. Okay, it is hollow right now. If I do okay, this will be the outcome, but I want to put a caps. So here you take cap ends and okay, right now I think it's a complex. I think it become, or let's refine that. Yeah, it will not adding it because it's become complex here. So I'll keep only initial level. I can show you like this. Okay, but let's do a simple design and let's understand, because in this case it is failing. So we'll make our design to very simple and let's use to be join this part as extent. And now let's see that how we can add a cappings if I want to do. So I'll going to use thin feature and we'll select this and let's define to be mid plane or 2 direction. Okay, now you see it's not coming because I think due to that sketch. Let me change the sketch again. So it's not showing that option and we can draw now again and understand that. So let's keep it in mid plane, no issues. And now go to thin feature. So specify how you want to take that thickness and all. Yeah. So, okay, so it's not showing that option now. Okay, so let's do okay. So generally what the cap will do, it will be add a thickness actually. We can add a thickness with that part. Now we have one more option. Let's do see directly without thickness. I'm going to extrude it. We'll take here that draft option. If you want to add draft to your model, you take a draft method and you can specify the degree of draft angle, and you can see we can draft the part also like this way. You want to change the draft direction, you can edit it, and you can also flip outward direction. This way also you can do a draft. Next, we'll see how to use selected contour method. So selected contour method is what if you have make multiple sketches with one sketches. In that cases, we use the selected contour method. Okay, so for example, if I make one sketch like this and some sketch I make here, for example, and let me use this trim. So this different sketch, this is different, and this is different. Okay. Let's make something here also. So let's see how we can take advantage of this. Maybe I want to only extrude that middle portion, but not all. But if I try to extrude, it will not extrude. So in that cases, you can take help of selected contour method. You can select the contours you want to extrude. I said only this area I want to extrude it. Okay. So how you want to extrude, you can define as a mid plane, and we can specify some depth and do okay. See here. Now, if you want to continue extruding your sketch with the same sketch that you have made earlier, you can use the same sketch. You go select this and say extrude. And you can select a part. Maybe I want to extrude this. See here, it is get extruded. Or again, you go and you can maybe tell the software, I want to again extrude with the same sketch. We'll select this sketch. I said this portion I want to extrude it with some less depth and all. Okay. So this way also I can do extrude by using the previous sketch that we have made it in the extrude portion. Okay. So this is how we can use a selected contour method. Okay, now let's see. I'll show you that part of capping ends also. Let me close the files and take a new file again. So now if I make a part, and now if I extrude this, okay, let's go to some thickness and use a thin feature. And let's specify this to be two direction. You can specify this thickness 2 and this is thickness 1. Okay, it is not coming that feature. So anyhow, that feature is not coming now. Okay, so I am making a closed sketches to be extrude as a thin feature. You can also make open sketches to be extrude also. Okay, as a thin feature. So we'll make open sketch to make a thin feature. So I'll just make a sketch and exit. Now select the sketch and you can go to extrude. You can see here, it will be turned into a wall. You can specify the thickness of the wall, how much you want to take it out. And you can also fillet this kind of corners when you have in this parts. You can specify the fillet radius and do okay. You can see here. So this is how also we can create a extrude part. Now we'll see how to use extrude cut command. Okay. So I'll just make some part. We'll add the material on that part. Now I want to remove some material from the body. Okay. So you can draw a sketch over the faces, how you want to cut the material. Like I want to cut this face from here. I'll just make sketch and I want to cut this part. So go to extrude cut command and how much depth you want to cut. You can specify the depth. It's the same option that we have studied in extrude option. So same option you can use it. Like initially I'll take defined by blind option and I have to tell the depth is 40 and do okay. But suppose I want to cut the same depth to be complete. You can use here through all, whatever it will find will be cut it. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let me undo. Suppose I'm just taking cut again. I want to do with some different cut. I'll make cut here. And I'm going to extrude cut. This time I'm going to cut it with the help of not only particular depth. I want to tell the face to go. So you can tell here to surface. I select the surface. You can see it will be reached to that equal to that surface and do okay. This way also you can cut something. Next, you want to cut something till to the next feature. If you have anything is there to the next of the body, like I'll go here from here. Let's delete this extrude cut and then we'll understand it. So I'm going to cut this portion and I'm going to draw over this face something. Okay, let's make something here. I want to cut it. So already there is cut is there now. So I'll go to extrude cut and we'll say up to next. You see, it will be stopping till that face only. Like that, you can use up to next option also. So means that what is the next face it will find, it will go to that. Or through all is what, like if you use through all, it will be passed through all the cut faces like this way. Okay, next. You can also use options like up to vertex. You can tell the software I want to only reach to this vertex. It will be go to that vertex or maybe this vertex. Yes, this way we can define a vertex also. You want to tell the offset from that face, maybe from this face, you want to stop your cut at some distance, maybe a 5 distance. I want to stop my cut. So that cut will be stopping at 5 distance. This way also you can define the offset cut method. Okay, now next. We'll see one different thing that we are not seeing right now. Let's do something here. Suppose I want to only cut the other region instead of my sketch area. Okay, I draw the sketch here, but I want to cut this region, not the sketch region. So there we have one option in extrude cut that is called flip side to cut. So we have to choose flip side to cut and we can tell the depth of cut that you want to take. I'll define that depth of 20. I want to go and do okay. You find that it will remove the other side material at the depth of 20 and it will be keeping that much portion of your body. So this way also you can do a cutting of your part body. Okay. So this is about extrude cut method. Now we'll see how to use a revolve tool. Okay, next tool. Is that understood? Extrude cut and extrude.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I continue with the next tool?
Right.
So next tool will take revolve base. So when we use revolve base tool, when we have to define something about axis, means I need to be define one axis of revolution and one profile to be like revolve around that sketch. So what I'll do, I'll just create some random axis and then we have to define the profile, what we have to design along the axis. Okay, so this is sketch you will make and this will be axis you're going to make it out. Okay, so two things we're going to make and we revolve this at particular angle, maybe 360 degree or any particular angle that you required and you can make. So mostly you see the circular bodies actually in industry, you will see circular bodies or maybe in your home nearby other places, you see circular bodies. So that
Yeah.
can be easily drawn if we able to visualize the cross-sectional area of that part. If you draw a cross-sectional part of that and define a rotation axis properly where it can be placed, if it is a like hold object in center, you have to place axis away from the sketch. If it is there is no hole, you have to put axis exactly overlapping the sketch. So it will not leave any space. So that way we just revolve it and we get the results. Now we'll see how to do that. So let's get. So I'll just take a new file and do okay. So I'm going to define one center axis first from where I want to revolve my sketch. We have to define the sketch, how we have to make that and we have to revolve it. So we'll just put any random sketch initially that I want to convert into my part. So I just define a random profile. This I want to convert into a random part body. That's cylindrical in nature. Okay, so I just define this part. You can put the dimensions to define more better. Now we not going to tell from where it have to revolve. Okay, because we have placed the axis of revolution. So software will automatically understand when we go to revolve command, select the sketch and go to revolve tool. And here you can see the software automatically revolve my part. So as I mentioned, when I'm making axis away from that sketch, it will be maintaining that diameter of hole there. Okay. Now it is 360 degree. If you need 360 degree, you do okay. This is the outcome. But if you say I don't need 360 degree, you can edit this and you can specify at particular degree of angle and do okay. So we can change angle at any time. Like this, let's design something else. If I want to design a simple piston design, okay, piston design. So I'll just again place one center line for rotation. You have to define the piston shape, how the piston shape will be generally define the piston shape. So like the piston shape will be have some cutouts will be there at initial here. We just define that kind of shapes where we can specify piston design, and then you have to close the sketch actually, like to make a solid shape of your piston, a thin feature, you have to make a sketch. So I just design this shape. Okay, if you cut the piston, there will be this kind of shape will be there on the piston. Okay, if you cut and see one fourth portion of the piston, this is how the piston will be look, right? So we have to just define axis and the sketch, any portion. I'm not arguing only piston, anything you're designing. So make sure how the cross-sectional view will be appear. If you're able to visualize the cross-sectional view, you have to design that. Once it is done, now we'll just go to exit from the sketch, feature and the revolve tool. And you can see it is generated. See here. Okay. So right now we not made with the dimension, we just made it without dimensions. Okay. So you can make with proper specification, you can make more look like a piston. You can add some cutouts. Like I can put some extrude cut here to cut this material. Let's make it mid plane. And you can see it'll be now looking more realistic, the piston, right? You can add more things there. So think is what? Just visualize the cross section in your mind to before making any of the cylindrical shape. So this how we can do a revolve tool. Now let's see some more options in the revolve that we can use. If you want to make a thin feature in the revolve command, you make open sketches and you just define axis of revolution. I'll define one center line, my axis of revolution, and we'll define the sketch. Just create something here. I'll just make one curve and one line. So there's open sketch. Now I want to revolve it 360-degree, exit, go to revolve tool. So here it will ask you, the sketch is currently open. Okay, so if you want to make a non-thin revolution means the solid model. Okay, but we don't want to make a solid model. So it's saying if you want to make non-thin revolution, make close it. So if you say yes, it will be close your sketch by putting a line here. But what we have to say here, no, because we have to keep a thin feature. So no, and you can see it will be convert a thin feature again. Like in Extrude, we did it. We can control here the thickness. The same way we have options. We can control the thickness and we can do okay. This is how we can make a like you can say deodorant cap bodies or something. This kind of objects can be prepared. Now next, we'll see more options as we seen in the Extrude tool. Now I'll just make one line here. Exit will extrude it. Let's put it okay 180. Okay. I'm going to use a right plane is there in the body. I'm going to use this plane to make one more sketch. So for a revolving, I'm placing one center line. And let's define some sketch that we want to revolve along that. Now exit and I'm going to revolve this. So we'll take a revolve tool. By default, it is blind and revolving 360-degree. If you want to give any particular angle, you can specify maybe 120-degree. It will be revolved at that particular degree from the sketch portion. You can change this option. You can say up to vertex. Maybe this vertex I want to go. So software will be try to take till that vertex. Similar way, second direction also you can use that option. Maybe I want to go till that vertex like that I can define. Next, I don't want to go direction 2. Let's go with the up to surface. You can tell that I want to go to the surface, and direction 2 also I can specify like I want to go to the surface like this, so we can make it. You can see the outcome. Or you can tell the software that I want to keep this to be offset from that face. So how much distance you want to lift from that face, you can tell the software. It will be stopping that much distance from that face. I want to stop at 5 distance, it will be stop at 5 distance. Okay. Next, you can also take mid plane. Mid plane is what, like whatever the angle you're giving, that will be equal both sides. Like I told 120, so 60 this side and 60 this side. So same way we can do a like revolve. Okay. So, but when we do that mid plane and we set any angle, it just go to 360 degree by default. Okay? But here you can edit and you can change it again. So now you can see this is how we got that results. Now we'll see how to make revolve cut. So this is about revolve, and now we'll see about revolve cut. So we'll make anything simple part to understand the revolve cut. So I'll do okay. I want to put some cutouts over that part. I want to cut groups. So let's use this existing plane, top plane we can use. What kind of group you want to cut, you define. Let's cut a rectangular group and place a center line. From there you want to revolve. I'm using from the center. Exit. I'm going to revolve this cut around that particular cylindrical part. I'll go to revolve cut. So the command is given revolve cut. If you want to cut 360 degree, do okay. This is how it will cut it. You want to cut at particular angle, define the particular angle, maybe 120 degrees. Okay. Or if you don't want to cut this region, you want to cut the rest of the other region, you can flip your side cut as we do in extrude cut. You can see it will only keep that and it will cut remaining portion. So I don't want to do this. I'll just undo this and do okay. And you can see this. Next, you want to cut any other shapes, you can do the same way. You can define maybe circular cut or circular design. You want to cut it. You just go and just specify again the axis. If you're not drawing axis, what you can do here in the circular body cases, you can turn on the temporary axis also. You can select the middle axis of the part, go to revolve cut, select the axis of revolution, define the angle and do okay. This way also you can cut something. Next, let me use this plane. And I want to cut from internally some part. Let's design. I want to cut in, revolve cut. So I want to cut internally area. So I just draw a sketch. You see how I'm drawing a sketch? This sketch I drawn on the middle plane. Then again, I'm telling one axis of revolution my part and exit. I want to produce a hole here and that center region. So I'll go to revolve cut and just do okay. And you will find that it'll be cutted from that area. I'll show you the cross-sectional view. We'll go to cross-sectional view, change the rotation plane, and you can see here, it will be cut the inside area also. So this is how you can do a revolve cut to your part body. Okay, that is our revolve cut. So we have seen extrude, revolve, extrude cut, and revolve cut. Now we'll see a sweep tool. Okay, sweep tool, what it do, where we need to make one path and one cross section. Okay, so I'll just guide you that. So you need one path shape. Any path you can create according to your profile. Like if I want to make simple pipe or rod, we can design a path. Okay, so cross section will be what, like generally for pipe is what, circular section. You can make a one section, or we can say sketch we will draw, or we call profile also. We'll draw one profile. Okay, different names you can say. So we draw and we just sweep along the path. That we do in the sweep command. So let's see how to do that. So let's take a new file, Control N, part, okay. We'll take a plane and sketch, and we'll define one path shape. Exit. For circular body cases, no need to draw a profile over that part, but for any other specific design, you just draw that by taking perpendicular plane. For circular body case, I'll directly go to sweep boss, select a circular profile, select the object, and we'll specify the thickness and do okay. Like we need solid one, you do okay. See, this is how it will come. But if you don't need solid, we have to do again. Select this, swept boss, circular profile, specify your diameter and use thin feature and specify the thickness of the part and do okay. You will find that it will become hollow from inside. So this is how you can make a thin feature. Let's make any other shapes. I want to make Allen key. Okay, let's see how to design an Allen key by using sweep tool. So let's define a sketch. So let's specify this to be 100, this to be 350. And let's put some fillet here to be 30. Okay, and exit. So I need a perpendicular plane to my curves. We already have some planes. We can use that. We can see top is there. If no plane is there, how you make? You go to plane, select the curve and select the point, and you can create a plane. Now you can use this plane to construct your sketch. I'll make polygon shape. So I'll just draw a polygon here. Now make sure one thing, whatever the shape we'll draw here to sweep along that, make sure that should be smaller than this curvature. So I make 30 radius, means maximum the size of profile I can pass through that will be have equal to 30 radius curvature. If it is bigger than that, it will do not pass. So make sure that should be smaller. Otherwise, we will be not created. So you have to reduce the size of your profile in that cases. So this is very important part where we have to take care. Exit. Now, once I made this, now I can easily sweep it. We'll go to sweep profile. We will select a profile and we'll select the path. So you can see it easily sweep because the section is smaller than that curvature here, and do OK. So the Allen key is ready. Like this, you can make. So anything you can make, you should know the path and you should know the cross section. You can design that. Let's make anything else. Control N. So I want to make let's U shape a part something. Let's make. I'll just create one part of 150. Let's define some shape here. I'll trim this. OK, and exit. Again, you just define one plane. I'll take one plane normal to this and do OK. We'll select this and sketch on it. We'll define the cross-sectional shape. So I want to make my cross-section like this. So what design you want to make, you just define that and just sweep along the path. I'll just make a smaller profile that to be sweeping over my part. Okay, so this I want to swap along the part. Exit, hiding the plane. Going to swap boss, selecting the profile and selecting the path. You can see here what is the outcome. So this way you can make anything. You need a proper path and you need a proper cross section. Now let's see one advanced feature of this tool. I want to make a twisted profile. Okay, so we will see how do you make a twisted profile by using sweep command. So let's create. I'm making one cross section shape. Exit. We'll use a perpendicular plane to this part. So we'll see the top plane is there. We can use the top plane. We're defining, you can define curve, arc, spline, anything you can define. Along that, you want to swap it, exit it. I want to sweep this along this part. So go to sweep boss, select this part and select the path. So it is swept normally. Okay, so let me little increase the height of my curve better. Okay, now exit. So you see the normal simple sweep. If you need this, you do okay. Like, but I'll edit it. I'll go here. One option is called profile twisting. Okay, so we'll choose to twist the profile. We'll go here and say twist value. You can increase the angle as 50 degree or 120 degrees. You can see how it's twisting. Or you can have option like radian and revolution. You can control with that, maybe 3 radian like that, or maybe you can go with the revolution. I said 1 revolution complete. You can see here and do okay. So you can make a twisted profile with the help of, so like we want to make a telephonic wire or something. Okay. So that kind of cases we can use this tool.
Drill bit also we can.
Drill bit, like there we have to make one portion cut out, swept cut out. Because
Okay.
this cut is there, na? Drill, the cut is there.
Yeah.
So we'll produce cut and we'll just make this and then pattern it.
Okay. So sweep cut is also there.
Yeah, sweep cut is also there.
Okay.
See, it is there.
Okay.
So let's see, for example, I want to make something. First, let's make something by swept cut also. First, we'll see normal example and then we'll see something different example on that part. Let's make a part along some face. I want to cut it out. So I'll just extrude this part. Suppose this face I want to cut it, okay? This face. I'll go to this face and we'll define the cross section, how we want to cut it, okay? Cross section and the path. So first I'll make a path. Let's make a path to be designed. I said I want to cut this face. So let's make one more. Like this, I just define some profile, okay? Random profile. This face I want to cut along that exit. You can make inside the body also by using planes. So I'll just use this part and do okay. And I'm going to make a cross section how I want to cut it. So I'll just define my section. I want to cut the part. Let's take a slot. It's a side slot now. So control it. Let's make. I want to cut this much material, that cape. I want to remove it with the path. Okay, maybe it is bigger one. Let's reduce the size of this. So let's make it 10 and make this to be over this part coincide, and let's reduce some radius also. 3. Let's make it 8. Okay, like this I made it. Let's try to cut it out. If that section is bigger than the curvature, do not sweep. Let's see. Swept cut, profile, and the path. See, it's gone, and cut it and do okay. See, this way I cut and I have made through a path. Now let's do something where we can see a step to use in practical examples like knurling, for example. I want to do a knurling, okay, in the part. Let's make one cylindrical body. Just defining some diameter like 28. Let's extrude it. I'll keep it mid plane and let's go to something 150 distance. Okay. The cylindrical body, simple, right? So I want to place the curve. So I just go this face and use convert entity to convert the edges into a sketch. Get converted now. Exit. Now we'll use this. Actually, we need helix now here. So we'll use helix command here. To make my revolution over that, I'm going to use here height and pitch. And we'll define height opposite side. So let's move this side. 150 total. The shaft is 150. Let's define some pitch. Let's take 120. Like this, I made it. Okay. I made the curve along that part. Now you just made the part and do swept cut on this. And also, let's make this to be exactly 90-degree angle. It will become here. I will select this and we'll draw a sketch over that part. So it will be here I have to draw. So let me make one center rectangle. Let's make it here. Let's define some size of this. I'm putting this to be 1.5 and equal to this. Equal. And let me rotate at some degree of angle. I'll not keep it exactly straight. So I'm going to use rotate tool. We'll specify the center point and we'll define the angle 90 degree. Or 40, sorry, 90 is already 90, no, 45, let's take 45 degree. Like this, I made a diamond kind of shapes to be cut along that exit. So now I want that to be swap and cut it. So first we'll use sweep cut this and along this and do okay. See here. Now what I'm going to do, because I need this same cut multiple times, right? Then only I can do a knurling. So I'll select this sweep cut here and we use circular pattern tool. We'll select this space. Total items, let's put it 12 and do okay. This is one direction. You see, it's only like you can say, okay, some helix we made it. But if you made
Yeah.
other side also, then only it will become a knurling. So we mirror it. So I'll use mirror tool and we'll select a plane that is like we can use this right plane also and do OK. So it will take little time in generating because too much 12 items are there, you know. We have to wait for a minute.
Yeah.
You can see here the diamond cut has been created over the part body. That knurling shape has been generated. Basically, where we made it, handles and all for gripping purpose. So this is how you can generate it.